break. We have a quick review that I know that many of you have completed, but I want to make sure that we talk through some of the strategies and some of these problems so that you're ready for your summative assessment that you will be taking in Schoology on Tuesday, which would be tomorrow. The first page of your review packet has 5 rectangular prisms, and I want to make sure that we're really clear on how to find the volume and the surface area of rectangular prisms. Volume is pretty straightforward. We go ahead and we identify the 3 dimensions if we are given 3 dimensions. We have the number 5 here, the number 8 here, and the number 10. And in order to find the volume for this, I would simply multiply 5 times 8 times 10, and that gives me 400. I do not have a unit label here, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to label this unit cubed. And one way that I remember that it is units cubed is when I take a look, I have 3 different dimensions when I'm starting to do volume. And it's a 3-dimensional shape, so I have a 3 in my exponent location. Surface area is a little bit more complicated. We need to make sure that first we're clear on the fact that surface area is when we try to find the area of all of the flat surfaces around the prism. In a rectangular prism, there are 6 faces. So I'm going to go ahead and I need to account for the top and the bottom, the front and the back, and the left and the right. I find the areas of each of these, and as long as you are making sure that you take care of all of the faces, it does not matter which you identify as the front or the back or the top or the bottom. I'm going to call this side over here the left. And so this left side over here is 10 because this dimension is 10. And then it is 8 because it's 10 by 8. So I'm going to go ahead and write 10 times 8 for the left and the right. And that would be 80 for each of those. The top, which is pretty easy for us to take a look at, it's pretty easy to figure out what the top is as well, is 5 times 8. And so for the top and the bottom, I'm going to write the equation 5 times 8 equals, and that is 40 for each of those. And then the front is the one that I'm coloring up and down here, and that would be 5 across this edge here by 10. And we end up with 50 and 50 for those answers. In order to get the complete surface area, I add all of my numbers together. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to scratch it up here. We have 180 because I combine these two, plus 160, and I get 340. Surface area seems to be a 3-dimensional thing because I'm talking about the faces of all of the areas of all of the faces of a rectangular prism, but it is in fact the area because I'm talking about the flat surfaces. So it is labeled in units squared because it's an area. We'll go ahead and do one more and on this page, and so let's take another one down here at the bottom. We've got our dimensions are 2 by 4 by 6. So to get my volume, I simply multiply 2 times 4 times 6, and that is 8 times 6, which is 48. So my volume is 48. This time I have centimeters, And I want to make sure that that is labeled in volume cubed as well. And then I'm going to move this around just a little bit so we can have you see the bottom edge of this paper just a little bit better. There we go. To find the surface area, this I'm going to call the blue face the front. So this is 6. And then the height is, the other dimension is 2, so this is 6 times 2. The back is going to be the same. Now you'll notice I tried to, in my top one here, I made sure that I put them together, put the opposite faces together, and I think that makes it a lot easier to find the surface area. I'm going to put the front and the back together here, and they're both 12. This is my right side. My right side is green. Right. So this is 2 by 4. And I can't see my left, but I'm going to assume that it's there. 2 times 4 is 8. And then I have my top, which is yellow. I'm going to put my top over here. And I can't see the bottom, but I have to, again, assume that it's there. My yellow dimension on this edge is 6, and this edge is 2. So my multiplication problem to get that area of that face would be 6 times 2. And that is not right. So we're going to just double check here. Looking here, we got a 4. So this is going to be 4. So we're going to do 6 times 4 and get 24. 6 times 4 and get 24. One of the things that we need to make sure that we do is multiply each of these numbers times all of the other numbers. And I've got 6 times 2, 2 times 4, and over here 6 times 4. So I have all those combinations. This is 24. This is 16. And those two together are 48. And if I scribble up over here, I've got 24, 16, and 48. Add all those areas together, and I've got 18. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4 is 88. And so my surface area here is 88 centimeters squared again, because I'm talking about area. All right, you go ahead and take care of working on these. Remember, just because this one has decimals doesn't mean the strategy is any different. You do the same thing, you just have slightly more realistic, true-to-life numbers in that, because we do not have everything measure out to be in exact inches, feet, meters, or whatever. I'll catch up with you in just a moment, and we'll look at page 2.